Welcome back. Today we are going to take your taste buds on a little trip to Italy with a timeless classic, tiramisu. This is one of those desserts that can feel like a little bit of a splurge when you're buying it at a cafe or a restaurant. But what if I told you that it's surprisingly easy to make? Not only that, it is an absolute showstopper. So this recipe is from our Taste the World manifesto collection on Cookidoo. I have it here on my screen. And when I said it's surprisingly easy, it really is. It takes only 15 minutes of your time, and then the rest of the time is done while it's sitting in the fridge to set. It is asking us to weigh our savoiardi biscuits into a bowl and also our brewed coffee. So you do want to have some nice strong espresso coffee, and you want to have done that ahead of time because it does have to sit and cool. So make it, let it cool to room temperature, pop it into the fridge to get nice and cold because we're going to be dipping our savoiardi biscuits into the coffee, and if it's a bit warm, it's not going to end very well for you. They'll kind of deteriorate. You can make your own savoiardi biscuits as well. There is a recipe on Cookidoo for those if you like. For us today, we have opted for a store-bought savoiardi, but I'm just going to set those aside while we get started with the cream. Now, because I've done that ahead of time, I'm actually just going to skip to where I need to be. We've done the coffee. We're here at step 7, so I'm going to set it as my current step, which is just to pop in our butterfly whisk. So the whisk is for whipping, creaming, emulsifying. It's called our butterfly, and it goes directly onto the blades. The digital twin kind of gives you a little indication of what it's going to look like for you in the blade. We want 3 eggs to go in there. We're going to check that off to say it's done, and we want about 200 grams of white sugar. And if you get the amount correct, it will tick it off for you automatically. Now it's time for whipping. 6 minutes on speed 4, because with a butterfly whisk, we never go above speed 4. So this dish is great for dinner parties, celebrations, or really just because. And in Italian, I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that tiramisu means pick-me-up, which is kind of like a nod to the espresso and the sugar in there. Okay, that is beautiful and fluffy and has incorporated the egg and the sugar together just wonderfully. We take out the butterfly now. We want to add in our mascarpone cheese. You can also make your own mascarpone cheese if you'd like. 750 grams is what we want. And now we are mixing it together only for 40 seconds on speed 3. Gorgeous. Look at that beautiful mascarpone cream. Now we're just going to keep that to the side for a moment. We come back to our savoiardi biscuits, and what we're going to do is take each individual sponge finger and we're going to dip it into the coffee mixture, the brewed coffee. You can replace 50 grams of this coffee for your favorite liqueur. It might be almond liqueur, rum, cognac, whatever it is that you like. Just remember, it's a very quick dip. We don't want it to start deteriorating in there because they're sponge fingers, they're really light and fluffy and airy, so it doesn't take much to fill them up with the coffee mixture. Okay, so now that I've layered my first layer, keeping in mind you can use whatever dish you have at home. We've got an approximate grams of savoiardi biscuits that are needed, but it's going to change depending on which dish you use. We do in the recipe have a suggested size, and in the one that we've pre-made, you'll see it's in a rectangular dish. So it really just goes to show that you can use whatever dish, it doesn't matter at all. We're now going to put half of the mascarpone cheese mixture onto that first layer of savoiardi biscuits. Look how gorgeously thick this is. Just keep in mind, you only want half. Best to put less, start spreading it out, and then if it needs a little bit more, you can always add more. Now we're just going to repeat the process. We're going to top it with the remainder of our savoiardi biscuits dipped in our coffee, and then top finally with the final amount of the mascarpone mixture. and the final layer of mascarpone on top. Now you don't need to be too fussy about how smooth it is on top here, because once it's set in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours, I prefer overnight, we're actually going to dust it with some cocoa. There we go. That's going into the fridge, and I'll show you one I prepared earlier. Here we go. As I mentioned earlier, this one's in a rectangular tray or dish, and we've just got about 20 grams of cocoa powder. You can use cacao if you like. And we're just going to dust it on top to get that final layer. And that's how easy it is to make this decadent Italian favourite at home. Tiramisu always feels like it might be a little bit fancy, however with the Thermomix it's no fuss and all flavour. If you give it a go, make sure you let us know how you went in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. And for now, happy cooking and buon appetito!